Welcome back to Uplift Equine. So, instead of doing our normal vlog, I just wanted to talk to you and clean out my my barn box, I guess you could call it. So all of those things that I'm putting down right now are the liquids that I store in my garage because it's too cold at the barn to really keep unfrozen, and a lot of those nozzles get pretty messed up and if they get frozen, and some chemicals actually kind of change their makeup and how they work if they become frozen. So it's the same thing with boiling point. If they boil, they'll change. If they freeze, they may change. So I just want to keep everything good. So I do this a couple of times a year because after a certain amount of time I stop really caring. I just start like pulling things out and throwing things back in with, zero consideration of organization. So I just take everything out, clean everything, make sure that everything that I put back in is still relevant and unexpired. And put everything back in nice and organized now. And then for a time, I remember exactly what's in. But it's just been such bad weather here. It was so nice for about a week and a half. Well, it was about a week. And we've got a couple of new horses where I board, and Revan's been super excited about that, so I kind of wanted him to let him settle in with that, but then it got rainy, and now it's freezing, like literally freezing, and I'm like, oh, we had false spring, and now we have second winter, and with second winter is just really miserable weather, so that's why I haven't really been riding. We'll catch up on our plans, but I just wanted to give you an update of what's going on. We started actually shadowing at the therapy center, so that's very encouraging. But not too many updates. Now, on the rider's position video that just came out like Monday as of recording this and posting this video, it's just so interesting. Like, I lost a subscriber. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I never know who they are. It's just, I do have the audacity to say, if you don't do it this way, it's incorrect. Or I don't outright say that, but what I do is I imply it. And sometimes it's a little bit of a flaw of mine. But from 27 years of riding a lot of different styles, I have just found that is the most effective way to ride just about any horse. I mean, I know a lot of horses are trained to ignore the seat and only do like combinations of heel taps or jabs, and that's a different case. They'd have to get retrained and resensitized at that point because they've been desensitized. Excuse me. But and it's funny, and this is and that seat position and how to use the seat is exactly how I can get normal everyday horses that can bend around the leg. Like, if the horse is flexible and sensitive enough to bend around your leg at a corner and not, ride like a brick, then, I can get him to do a shoulder in, I can get him to do a shoulder four, just a lot, turn on the forehand, a lot of things and suppling exercises, and even reach down into the contact, even if they have not been formally trained to do so. And other seat positions have never given me that ability to do that. So this is just from years and years of trial and error, and instead of just repetitively listening to some instructor tell me how to do it right, and me having lackluster results, I just figured it out. And I'm just communicating the most effective way that I have found, honestly. And I just wanted to let people know, and I call it correct because it gets the best results. You know, I'm not trying to be like prideful or be like, oh, everybody else is wrong and I'm the only one on the planet that's right. Not true. And a lot of classical people ride this way, and sometimes they don't even realize they're riding this way. But they do. So it's, you know, things are just interesting. But yeah. Anyway, there's more exciting videos coming. We've got more riding videos, which will come in time. Mostly, you know, when the weather gets better. Much of the time, it's just been so windy, it's been knocking my camera over. I'm like, I can't have a shaky camera / knocked over camera for these videos that I'm trying to teach with. So, I mean, we just gotta wait it out. But Revan's been doing fine, and the closer he gets to being 6 years old officially, the more responsible he seems to be getting, and it's really kind of nice. It's like, you know, magic. And I know not every 6-year-old acts like that, but he has been carefully prepared for, you know, these moments. So I'm kind of proud of him in that respect. So, but here in my grooming kit, I have all of my things. All of the, you know, like, waterless shampoos, because, you know, Revan is cream colored, and you know how stains can get with really light colored horses, especially if you've ever owned one. There's my hoof rasp. I try to, like, fit everything in here, because my grooming kit's a separate thing on its own, and so are my buckets for wash, like my wash rack buckets. But this is like everything else. And of course we got the cooler. I keep the cooler in there all the time because it's really good at wicking away wetness if I've got a completely wet horse coming in during, you know, the spring and summer months and early fall months. So, I mean, it's really effective. And then I got my first aid kit that I just put in there. And I think what I'm trying to do is figure out how to puzzle piece all the stuff that I want in there. And what I am going to have to, you know, leave out. Like the fly spray I leave out because, you know, if the barn owner notices, like, man, the flies are being excessive, then she'll just, like, you know, put on some extra fly spray, and that's very kind. My cut resistant sleeves, because I have cut into my arm before with a hoof knife. Unfortunately, it, like, skimmed right across the hoof. Unfortunately. Oh, there's my hoof links. But yeah, that's my my barn kit. But yeah, that's our updates, and you know, dealing with a few other things, but not quite there yet. Oh, there's my apron. You know, so if I want to keep clean whilst preparing revs, I've got the apron. But yeah, Revan's new friends have caused Revan to lose a little bit of weight because of all of the moving around that he's doing. He's playing. He's playing, and they're, you know, figuring out hierarchies and all of that. So hasn't really lost muscle, but he's lost a bit of, like, fat, which is a good thing towards the end of this winter. But I'm like, let's get a little bit more around your barrel here. So we've got him on some extra ration balancer and senior weight accelerator. Even though he's not a senior horse, it still works very well. But, you know, coming to the end of this video, I just wanted to tell you guys how much I appreciate you, and appreciate you guys listening to me ramble on about the things, and I am actively trying to figure out how to become more entertaining. If any of you have suggestions, please leave it down in the comments, because I am willing to take suggestions on how to be more entertaining. Because, you know, like infotainment, right now it's just straight up education. And, you know, I tend to be very dry sometimes, so if you have any suggestions, I will take them. I promise I will take them. That thing right there, that's my electrolyte. Now, I will tell you, do not buy the electrolyte. I know it's cheaper. It's on Chewy. It's like $5 for that whole big thing, but the scoop is massive. And you have so much powder in the feed, and it's like candy apple scented, and I could only imagine what it tastes like. And sometimes my horse is like, he's like, okay, I'll take it, and other times he's like, nah. The thing that worked was the most effective, and it lasted forever, was Finish Line's Apple a Day. And I think that's the only electrolyte I'm going to go with from now on, because it was so effective. They always ate it. They have a tiny little scoop, and it's so concentrated, it's just as effective as that massive scoop from that container. And it would last, you know, twice as long. And I don't know why I didn't buy it this past time, but I think I just wanted to, you know, see if I could save a little bit of money. And I didn't realize the scoop was going to be so massive. So I'm just going to try to use up with the electrolyte that I've got and hope for the best until I can get Apple a Day again. I'm going to try to do some product reviews. I have not gotten any sponsorships so far, which, you know, understandable. I'm under 1,000 subscribers, but there are some things that I'm like, you know what? I wanted to try a thing out, and I'm like, it didn't work out very well. Or, oh, I love this product. I've used it for years. I want to, like, you know, I want to let everybody know why I've used it for years, and I love it. So, I mean, I might do that. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being such loyal subscribers, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.